DM073 Gaming is brought to you by Happy Little Hug Factory. If you're looking for pre-orders of the upcoming sets, including singles or booster boxes of previous sets that have come out, you can check the link down below. Happy Little Hug Factory also has a buy list for Force of Will, so you can get rid of those extra cards you have laying around and turn it into new upcoming product. Thanks so much, guys. Check them out and enjoy the video.
Hey there guys, DM073 here, bringing you the deck profile for Harold's Reflect Refrain Myths. It is one of the many different ways that you can play Reflect Refrain in Wanderer format. Personally, probably one of my favorites, so let's go ahead and just jump right in. So for those of you who aren't aware, Reflect is a ruler with a judgment cost of 0, and says choose 0, choose one, and you can play this activate ability only once per turn, only during your turn. It doesn't say that on screen, the card was errated. So you have 3 modes. You can give a Resonator +2/+2, and then get a magic counter. Draw a card, then put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, get a magic counter. Or remove target Resonator, or recover target Resonator at the end of the turn, get a magic counter. For the sake of this deck, you are primarily using that filtering, the draw a card and kind of cycle into your deck, because this is kind of a combo deck, so you want to see those combo pieces, and Reflect really helps you get there. On the Judgmented side, Refrain has 0. You can immediately flip it back into a ruler. You can only play that ability during your opponent's turn, and it is instant speed, so Reflect Refrain flips back and forth very frequently. You can tap her and remove 2 magic counters to bounce a Resonator to the hand. Tap her and remove X magic counters to cancel target normal spell your opponent controls. So this is just like Chance with total cost X, or tap and remove 4 magic counters to search your deck for a card and put it to your hand. This version primarily uses the search filter to be able to get those last combo pieces to push, or get the protection for the push to make sure that the combo goes through and really is impactful. So going into the stones real quick, first we play 4 Gusting Skies, 4 Blasting Waves, and 2 Spirit Stones. We primarily want all Wind Stones because we're playing Gretel, and then the other 2 colors the deck likes are white and green, or white and red, and Spirit Stone's always great because you can just sack it to draw cards too, so it's again more ways to be able to dig. Going into the main deck, we play 4 Elvish Priest for some ramp, which is awesome. You need to be able to try to stick that turn 2 Spinning Myths if possible. 4 Gretel, because it serves as a nice ramper as well. You know, you play it, you're going to get a free stone off of it, which is always great. Frigg helps you recycle Spinning Myths and a myth, and then protection with like your rewrite Wind Secluded Refuge or your Amino Habakiri, so it really can get a lot of value off of that to be able to recycle stuff. It's really great to go Spinning Myths into Frigg, because Frigg can just grab you the Spinning Myths right back, right? So you just put a 5-drop out for 3 cost and then got it back. 4 Izanagi is kind of your main removal source and a really heavy beater. Can rip 3 cards out of the field and do a lot of work that way. 4 Susanoo, the 10-Fist Sword. This guy is really great against dragons, but also particularly he is a myth with swiftness, which is pretty cool, and he's got Pierce. And he also, when he's got Amino Habakiri on him, if you hard cast him so he gets that enter effect, you can potentially deal like 3,200 damage to your opponent all in 1 turn, which is really crazy. 2 Ferris spells for some being able to back up the plays and stop the cancel wars. 4 Wind Secluded Refuge to make sure that Izanagi and Susan stick and survive for the longest time, as well as it's also some draw power, which is great. Rewriting Laws for some deck thinning, as well as making sure that your stones cooperate and do what they need to do. 2 Amino Habakiri, primarily to be used with Susan, but can honestly be put on any Resonator. They get +4/+4, and if they ever deal damage, that much damage also gets dealt to your opponent. So it's a lot of really cool things that happen. Susan, like I said, can deal a lot of damage very, very quickly. If you hard cast him, get the Amino Habakiri attachment trigger, and then burn something for 16. 4 Spinning Myths, because it is the primary kind of condition of the deck to be able to get those myths out very quickly, and it torrents, which is great to be able to get you a magic stone and ramp you up further. 4 Artemis the God's Bow to help make sure that Izanagi and Susan can kind of get their damage through, which is great. And then 4 Gleipnir, and the primary reason why this happens is you can do some pretty interesting things with Susan with this card. 1, it's draw power, but 2, you can have a Izanagi that has, sorry, not an Izanagi, a Susan that has an Amino Habakiri on it, attack your opponent, And then in response to declaration of attack, use Gleipnir to force one of your opponent's creatures to block. And then because Susan has Pierce, what happens is the creature's forced to block, the creature will take the damage from Susan, Amino will trigger and give them their 16 damage to the face from the Amino. And then, because the original attack target was the opponent's face, the difference between the creature's defense and Susan's attack will still go through to your opponent. So every single swing from Susan suddenly becomes 20, 25 damage based on the stat line of the creature that you're kind of trying to hit them with. And you're going to obviously use Gleipnir to force the like really weak creatures to block so that you can get the most damage through with Pierce. So all in all, this deck is very explosive in terms of the amount of damage that it can deal. And then it really can just, you know, it serves a lot of removal, and it just kind of puts these big creatures out on board, keeps them protected with Wind Secluded, and says, answer these right now or you're just going to die. So huge thanks to Harold for playing the deck and sending me the deck list. Let me know what you guys think or how kind of you would want to run this deck anything different. One card that I think could help this deck a lot is the Viola. So let me research that. Let me search that up real quick. So one of the things about let's see right here. So one of the things about Susanoo is that if you have an opponent controls a dragon, you can pay 3 colorless to play him, which is pretty interesting. And Viola is a quick cast 2-drop that says target J/Res gains +2/+2 flying and becomes a dragon. So during the upkeep, you can actually cast this card, force one of your opponent's creatures to be a dragon, and then you can hard cast Susan for only 3 will. It's another way to be able to potentially get around not having the spinning myths, while also being able to trigger the enter effects of Susan, because enter effects with this specific keyword have to be played from hand. They can't be like cheated in order to trigger. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys would think or run differently. Huge thanks to Harold again, and until next time, this is GMO73 signing off.
Huge thanks to the patrons of the channel. You see their names here on the screen as well as down below in the description. They are what help make this channel run and help me do these awesome projects for you guys. If you feel like joining the channel and getting access to all the cool perks that come with being a patron, click on the P on the screen or the link down below. Thanks so much. See you next time.